At a wedding in Winter Park, Florida, police received a call about a 39-year-old man who was the uncle of the bride named Daniel Knight. According to the woman who made the 911 call, Knight was harassing guests at the reception and trying to attack people. When police arrived to the scene, they located Knight, who was standing outside with his sisters, who claimed that he had PTSD, and his sisters tried to stand between the officer and Knight to prevent the officer from detaining him. But when the officer tried to drag Knight's sister away from him, Knight punched one officer in the face before walking towards another, and this caused the situation to take a fatal turn.
So he's in a black, white beater,
Where's he at? Where's he at?
right by the lake, right there.
I don't give a fuck.
He's okay. He's okay. He's our brother. He's our brother.
Man, that bitch ain't got nothing to do with me.
It's his first wedding.
Shut up.
Back
It's his
up.
first wedding. It's his
Back
first
up.
wedding.
Shut up.
Listen,
Back
it's his
up.
first wedding.
Back up. Back up. Move out of the way. 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 Man, move out of the way. Move out of the way. Move out of the way.
Have any
Come here for a second. Come here for a second. Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here.
Don't you smack my motherfucking sister.
Danny.
Get away from me. Step back, Sam.
Back up. Back up. Back up.
You touch my sister.
Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up.
Hold on.
Gotcha.
Hold on.
Okay. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Back up. What's up, man? What's up? Talk. Okay. Hey, talk. I'm all right. Hold on. No, I'm all right. No. Let me stay here.
All right, you good?
No, I'm okay. I'm all right. I'm all right.
Sit. Get some water? Need some water?
No, I'm all right.
Okay, give me a napkin, man.
Hold on a second.
Get a call.
Daniel Knight was shot multiple times. After punching one officer and pushing another to the ground, and later died at the hospital. And the officer who shot Knight was placed on administrative leave while the situation is currently being investigated to determine if the shooting was justified. Houston, Texas. After a night out together, an elderly couple had returned home, but what they didn't know is that they were being followed by two armed men who were planning to rob them. The two men followed the couple into their garage and forced them into the house and began to steal everything of value that they could find, including personal belongings such as the woman's wedding ring and necklace, as the frightened couple's indoor home security cameras captured the whole thing.
Take it out! Take everything out. Take everything. Bring everything. Take it.
Here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, take it to the watch. Take it to the watch. Take it to the river watch. Come on, take it.
The two men ended up stealing thousands of dollars worth of personal belongings, and to this day the men have yet to be identified and caught. In Houston, Texas, a 29-year-old man named Joshua DeLouch had been sharing an apartment with another man named Justin Ouija, and the two had initially agreed to go 50-50 on the rent, but DeLouch eventually stopped paying his half and left Ouija to pay everything for several months, and this caused Ouija to ask DeLouch to move out the apartment. But this wouldn't sit well with Joshua, and on May 8th, Justin would walk into the apartment and be confronted by Joshua, who pointed a gun at him and told him to get on his knees, causing Justin to repeatedly ask what the problem was and plead with DeLouch.
What? Down. Huh? On your knees. Bro. On your knees now. On your knees. Bro. On your knees. What's the issue? I'm gonna say it one more time. Bro, what's the issue? On your knees now. What's the issue? Bro, I'm not fucking around. What's the issue? On your knees now. What's the issue? Whatever you want to know. What's the issue? You. Be quiet. Shut the fuck up.
In this surveillance home video, accused of pointing a gun at his roommate earlier this month when he was asked to pay his rent or get out. He allegedly stole $6,000 and jewelry from his roommate, then tied up his roommate and put him in the trunk of his own car.
Although Ouija was tied up and left in the trunk of his car after being robbed, he managed to free himself and get out. And Joshua DeLouch was eventually tracked down by police and arrested and charged with armed robbery and kidnapping. And he's currently being held in jail awaiting trial. In Cleveland, Ohio, police officers received a call to a residence from a woman who was allegedly in a domestic dispute with a 43-year-old man named Daryl Borden. When the two officers named Jennifer Killnap and Cal Williams arrived to the house, the woman who made the call told them that Borden was upstairs, and the officers proceeded to head up the stairs to look for him. But what they didn't know is that they were walking into an ambush that would result in Jennifer Killnap being shot multiple times.
He's upstairs. Moose? Moose?
What's that?
Get back! Sus! Get back! Get back! Hey! Get up! Help! Help! Get up! Shot fired! Come on. Hey, get in the car! Kill them! Shot fired! Shots fired! Shots fired! I repeat, we have shots fired! Kill them! Kill them! Kill them! Let's go! We have shots fired. We're at 2023 East 81st.
Right now.
We need 911 right now. Kill them. Get in the car and take you to the hospital.
Officer Jennifer Killnap was shot by both Borden and her partner when he returned fire, but she was immediately taken to the hospital and managed to survive. And after a standoff which lasted multiple hours, Daryl Borden was eventually arrested and he was charged with attempted murder and illegal gun possession and ultimately sentenced to 19 years in prison. In South Philadelphia, a group of 3 women were seen walking down the sidewalk, and this is when a man identified as Malcolm White walked in between the group of women and decided to launch an attack on them for unknown reasons. And the doorbell camera from a nearby house managed to capture the terrifying moment.
Oh my God! Oh my God!
Malcolm White, who was also accused of assaulting a woman earlier in the day, was eventually arrested and charged with multiple counts of aggravated assault, and White is currently being held in jail without bond awaiting trial.